All right, right now we're going to be making a rose. So I'm actually going to start with a simple Bezier curve. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to get a good top view of this, and I'm just going to go ahead and model this about how I want it. We're going to do a little bit of a curve like that. We're going to extrude that out, then we're going to move it back in. If I look from the top, it should have a little bit of a screw. Looks like not quite. So let's take this bottom one and adjust this so there is more of a screw. The bottom vertice, I'm going to take this top edge, curve it up a little bit more. And that looks pretty curved. So now what we're going to do is we're going into our curve data properties and increase the depth about how thick we want our stem to be. That looks okay to me. I'm going to right click and then we're going to convert to a mesh, which now I should have just some geometry to work with. So we're going to go ahead and add the thorns. Let's start with, let's say I want a thorn here. So I'm going to go into edge select mode, select these. I'm actually going to bevel to add some more geometry, and I'm going to take one. No, let's do two. Let's do two. I'm going to point this up. I'm going to double G that down. Now you have a nice little thorn, which we can then do a few more times. Grab those, move this out, up. Maybe this one goes a little bit lower. Add a little bit of variation. Same thing here. You could just add a bunch of subdivisions, but I guess right now what I'm doing is I'm just adding bevels because, I don't know, don't put excess geometry where you need it, I suppose. Maybe we got a little bit of a weird thorn there, or like a double thorn. And let's vary that a bit. Maybe no. Let's not. Let me take this and just move it back there. So we got that. Maybe it flexes the stem a little bit. And let's do one more bevel. Grab these two. I'm going to pull these out. Oh, this one's maybe going to be there and there. So now we have a few thorns all the way around. Looks like if we're talking from an angle, our angle here is best. So it looks like from the XY or the negative X, negative Y is our best angle. So now I'm going to just go ahead and fill this end cap here. And now let's work on the petals. So I'm going to use a trick I learned. So I'm going to take this curve, a circle, and then I'm going to add a second path. And I'm going to rotate this up. And I'm just going to set it aside like there. And if I do, believe, bevel to object and select the circle. And now if I'm going to duplicate this, let's say 4 times. So we want the base petals, the top petals, and I'm going to say the center petals. So let's just do 3 to keep it simple. So I'm going to take these curves and just adjust it to how I would like. Should probably be, let's say these are the outer curves. Probably something like this in terms of thickness, taper shape. I'm not sure what you would want to call it. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this out, bring this up. If I extrude, then do that. Oops. And I do fill caps. And we've got a little bit of like a curve outward. That feels a little thick. I'm just going to take this and move it inward a bit. And vary that a bit. Looks pretty good. Close that up, and that looks like a pretty good pedal. Not quite. Let's take this bottom, and I'm going to Alt-S to scale it, and then that'll just pinch that bottom piece, and then we'll do the same here, Alt-S. Just give it, scale that one out, scale that one in, like that, just to give it a little bit of shape. Now let's do that a few more times, except this one is going to be shorter. We're going to scale this along the z-axis. Let's say this is the bass pedals. I'm going to say this is the outermost pedals. These are the bass pedals. So I'm actually going to... No, let's not do that first. Actually, you know what? To make it easier, let's delete these. I'm going to duplicate those across the Y so we have a good base. Scale it across the Z, and then I'm just going to scale it. Oh, right. Alt scale X. Would that do anything? What if I did Alt scale Z? Interesting. Let's do that. But then the bass pedals, maybe this goes down a little bit more. Alt S across the X. These are a little bit shorter. Scale across the Z. And stout, I would say. Bring that in. That looks pretty good. Maybe, but I'm instead going to, oh my, whoops. Want not that, but this. We want this to be, let's say thinner on that, then thicker on one end. Like maybe like that. That looks pretty good, but let's scale this one. Alt scale. There. This one, alt scale. Just until we get the look we want to achieve. Go this out and let's scale that quite a bit. No. Like that. That looks pretty good. Now we're gonna do it. Should we do it one more time? Let's take this one and just add a variation, another variation. This one will be tapered, I'm going to say inward a little bit instead of outward. So it's got like a little bit of a curl in. We're going to make that one, scale that. Let's say these are this would be the center pedal. Pretty sure all flower petals actually go out. So I'm going to instead just make like a much sharper edge, I suppose. Let's move this closer, like that. But let's have this one, I'm not sure. That looks pretty good. Now we need to take these and arrange them. But what would be the best way to do that? We could go by hand, but I feel like the best way to do it right now is, let's say we add a curve. Let's add 3 curves. We're going to scale that, duplicate that, scale that. So we have our outermost petals, our second, and then our inner. So our outermost petals will be these little ones. So if we take this one, add an array modifier, go to circle. Should we do circle or curve? What if we did circle instead? We go X. Not quite what I'm looking for. Let's go curve. Then select this outermost one. Then we go distance. This, increase our distance, I believe. Let's change our align rotation to be like our up on the X forward axis. On the, oh, this is interesting. But what if we have it rotate towards the center? I'm going to go see if I can figure out how to do that. My recording is not pausing. That is a shame. Very well. We shall do it right now. How to get array to face a center. Blender. Let us see. We have time. Set. Oh, I spelled that wrong. An empty offset. Circular way that like spokes on a wheel use an empty offset. Select your objects. Add the array. Set up. We have an array modifier. Merge, randomize, forward. Uncheck relative offset, check object offset. I'm not sure what that is. So, you know what I'm going to just do? I'm going to rotate them manual. So we're going to, I suppose, apply. Well, let's start by converting to mesh. Now we should, that's not good. No, I can't pause my recording to go try and figure out what's happening. All right. I guess we'll just work with it. We're going to do the same thing. Array modifier. What if we randomize circle? Looks like circle might be our best bet instead. Central axis around the X, circle segment. Okay, I know what we need to do. So what we're going to do is undo all this. We have just one. Then we need to, I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to convert all of these to a mesh. Let's select all these vertices, and then move this up so that the base of our pedal is our origin. And then do that with these other two. Base of the pedal, just to the origin. Same thing here. Select everything. Base of the pedal should be about the origin. That looks about right. Now, if we add an array modifier in a circle across the Y, what if we do the curve now? That's better. Hold on. This is better. Align rotation, X. Not quite. I'm just going to stop recording. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Something very annoying happened. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then I'm going to take this pedal and I'm going to arrange each of these pedals approximately how I want. So these will be our center pedals. These will be our middle pedals, and these will be our pedals. So I'm just going to go ahead and adjust these to where we want them. Maybe scale them down a little bit. Scale this up a little bit. So here's our inner. Here's our second. And here would be our outer petals. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. And I'm going to take all of these because this is what fixed the problems I was having. Apply all those transformations. I'm going to take these, and it looks like I did the correct thing of putting this to the center. So now we're going to go ahead and add an empty plane axis. I'm going to add a legacy array modifier. I'm going to put factor to 0, object offset, and empty. And then you shouldn't see anything if it worked correctly. And now if I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to legacy array, 0, object offset, empty, array legacy, offset, 0, select here. And now if I rotate this, petals should rotate around the center. So now I'm going to put this to, let's say, it's like 8, 8, and 9. Then we're going to go 8, 9, and 10. This can also be 9. It's not perfect, but it does what we need it to do for now. Now I can just rotate this until we have it the look we want. And then I can probably go ahead and if I'm going to go into sculpt mode. What I should have done is done this first and then modeled the flower petal as I needed. Now, if I go into sculpt mode or sculpt mode, select this petal, I'm going to take the elastic grab, bring my scale way up, and then just kind of mesh this object the way I need it to. Let me increase the rotation on this a little bit so they are more in the center. They face the center a bit better. It's like there's not really a good way to do that. So I think, well, I did it to the best of my ability. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. And then just because I accidentally made a mark, let's go ahead and draw it. Or that's not going to work either. Okay, well, I tried. And it's not bad considering it's my first time trying something like this. So I'm going to just take this top. Oh, all right, I should probably apply all these modifiers. Apply, and then just move that there. Scale it down to about the size I need. And hey, I suppose that doesn't look half bad, at least from the side, at least at first. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just add a simple dark red material. The same thing to the material 2. Go here, material 2. Now I have just a little bit of a red. I'm going to go here, turn this into a deep green. And then we're going to add a second material. Make this sort of like a yellowish brown. And we're going to go up to each of the thorn faces. Make sure we're in X-ray mode. And just assign each of these thorns their own little So what could I have done better? Added the array modifiers first, so then I could sculpt instead of trying to get the array modifier to fit my petals. I could use my petals and make them fit the array modifier. So I guess just the general order of things. I think I did a good job on the stem. I think I did a good job on this thorns. I think I did a good job understanding how to model a petal. However, if I would have done the array first, we didn't actually end up using these, and then modeled the petals to fit my array, or maybe have a better, maybe add a constraint so it would face the center of the object, and then do this, so it would always face the center. My petals do not overlap properly. There's just a whole plethora of things that went wrong with that, and I had a hard time doing that. But I guess that's it. All right, see you tomorrow.